There we go. I want to see us next to each
Welcome to Talking Shh. Watch your mouth with Khalil Anthony. Talking shit with Khalil Anthony. I have one of my favorite round the way girls with us today. This is DJ Kream. How you doing, baby?
other. I'm doing good. You probably can't tell. It's kind of gloomy outside today, so I got a little
I sure
whatever.
cannot
But it was
tell.
hot as shit the last 3 days, so I'm kind of happy it's colder. I'm like, oh, I can wear real clothes today. I wore my jacket last night.
What was the weather?
It was like 90 something degrees, like 90 to 95 degrees, literally almost this whole week.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
I'm
So
like,
where are you
I don't
located
know
right
where.
now?
She can't survive. I'm in Oakland, California, East Oakland.
Okay. And California's been locked down. It's still locked down, right?
We've been in shelter in place since March something. It's been like over 2 months, going on almost 3 months now. Yeah.
Cool. How's it been treating you? How have you been doing during this time?
I've been living my life like it's golden, honey. The only difference is I can't do hood rat shit with my friends in clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't been lending too much mental capacity or energy to entertaining this pandemic. The only thing I've been taking somewhat serious is certain precautions because I do care for an elder in my family, and the last thing I would want, because she is part of the most vulnerable population, is for something to happen to her. But personally, I'm like, it doesn't exist. It's not real. I don't have it. No one I know has it. So I've been working from home. That's been the main difference, which you know the tea, but it's been a small adjustment because I was already working very remotely anyway. So I just been getting it in, learning new shit, cooking meals, hanging out with my man and my dog, and riding bikes. We've been having a really good time, actually.
And it's interesting, right? Like I've been sharing like the life that I'm living now, and there's a little tinge of like not wanting to say how good it is, and I'm like, what? Why would you hold that back? That energy needs to be spoken because the universe want to give you some more of it. And we like, it's okay. No, I'm thriving.
I mean, I understand it. There's a little bit of like, not even backlash, but I think just because you are hyper aware, you want to be mindful, as I am as well, that this is not everybody's experience.
Right.
And I understand everyone can't work from home. Everyone can't shelter in place in a compound, literally with most of their closest family. So I recognize and acknowledge that I'm blessed in that. Right. But because of that, I feel more compelled to share that so that the people who maybe don't have that can have some glimmer of hope that like what you're experiencing is not it's not everyone's experience, and it's really what you make it. And so my perspective, my approach to it has been very much like the rest of my life, which is like, I'm in control of shit.
Right.
And at the end of the day, this is just a circumstance of my environment, but that's not what I'm experiencing. And fuck these masks. I'm tired of wearing this goddamn mask.
And I've only had to put them on twice. So I haven't left the compound I'm at I hadn't left since March 12th.
Okay.
So
that's about when we went on shelter in place.
Yeah, but you guys go out to get your groceries and stuff like that. So I've been on this hill or in the mountains, and not like it's bad at all. I'm very thankful. But the reality was, there's 3 of us here. One's an 8-year-old, so I wasn't going out to go get the groceries. So the other person who was here would go. So the first time I went out there and had this mask, it was just kind of like, I don't know. Everything is kind of like that right now. Like, I don't know.
There's a lot of uncertainty for sure. But a lot of the conversations I've been having with friends and creatives and, revolutionaries have been like, this time also feels like there could be some very radical change that can happen. And not just because the government is trying to vaccinate us all and control us. Like, aside from that, the people really are in a position, if we strike while the opportunity is prime, to change the way we look at how we've been living the last 1,000 years or whatever the fuck it's been since the Industrial Revolution. It ain't been 1,000, but because we're seeing that the things that we've been told about how life is supposed to work, how we're supposed to work, how we're supposed to commune, is really some bullshit. And when we get closer or get back to our original indigenous ways of doing things, the world is naturally a better place. And I think people who didn't think that way before this are realizing that. So it kind of feels like a mass awakening of sorts, where people are just like, yeah, it's our time. And it feels like retribution and redemption, and like all the people who've been fucking up everything for the melanated peoples of this world are like getting their motherfucking Hail Mary. Like Babylon is burning.
Yeah. It's a trip. Okay. And let's actually segue into the first time.
I'm tired of talking about this bitch.
Girl, because I was just like, Arrested Development. I don't know what else to say, child.
I'm done with her. She can go back home.
I'm glad. Yeah, I was like, that was good, because I literally was like, system overload. Okay. So I've asked everybody this question. Okay. And for everybody who's watching, this is the Scarab interview. This is actually the last one of this series. I'm actually super excited. Yeah. But I've asked everybody this question. Where did we meet?
Oh shit. Do I remember? Yes, I do. So we met when we were both, I was working for an organization, and you were a part of a production and what are we calling it?
Artist education convention of sorts.
Conference. And we were sent on a store run to go purchase some snacks and some alcohol for like a reception, like closing party that was going to be happening. And we got sent on this liquor run, and you put me up on game and some shit, and we kikied and talked shit, and we've been friends literally ever since. And I remember meeting you and being like, where's this person been all my fucking life?
Oh my God.
And then at the time you weren't living or working in the Bay Area. And then when I found out that you were coming back to the Bay Area and would be working for the organization, I was like, this is going to be so much fun. And turns out it was true.
Yeah, we did parties together, we worked together, we hung out, we ate together.
Oh my God, so much wine.
So much wine. Ooh, girl. I have like 90% water and 8% wine over here.
Right, and like 2% cheese pizza.
Girl, yeah. Just say 4% cheese. Just put it up. Just give it to her. What was the party we started? Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh my God, it was this fabulous event called, and I won't say was, it is, because it still exists, and I'm very confident and I believe that it will continue to exist and thrive in different iterations. But it is called That Queer Party, TQP, which you started during it was a part of another kind of yearly celebration around Valentine's Day.
Black love.
Yeah, it was the Black love. Yeah, and it was all centered around that. And I remember, and which is so cool, I always love to tell this story, that me being a part of TQP was more so on the event producer, like logistics and all that stuff, all the other shit I do. And you were curator and graphic designer, and you had the venue, you had the bartender on deck, who was another person who came into the tribe. Well, actually, you introduced me to them. They were already part of your tribe. But I remember we had our residents, and then one of the months, the resident DJ, Droflo, was going to be out of town, and you were like, bitch, it's your turn to DJ. Because I had secretly been learning how to DJ.
Yes.
Hadn't really done it outside my kitchen. And I remember TQP was the first time I ever DJed out in the world. And I was scared as shit. Everything I was afraid of happening, what happened that night, like.
Yeah.
And literally that push that you gave me, and that, holding space for me and encouraging me to do something, like your faith in me, like that I could do it, having never actually seen me DJ a party, was just like enough for me to be like, all right, like you can do it. And it was great. And literally from there, I have like never stopped booking DJ gigs. I even DJ your birthday party the next day.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. Remember that?
That was, yeah. And then you got me my first paid gig at Miss Ollie's. Like I still got that check.
Oh.
Yeah, I kept it because it means a lot that I was maybe 3-4 months in and was getting paid to DJ, which was something I hadn't even thought about. It was just like at that point, I just want to do it. So there's been so many avenues and pathways that like we crossed and cross-pollinated and worked together and got each other checks. Like it's just been awesome. But TQP was where my creativity as a DJ really was fostered. And then let's not even talk about all the different iterations of TQP we did, like in the different spaces and the Tea Party. You remember the Tea Party?
Tea Party.
And that bomb ass fire you designed with Prince in the teacup?
Oh, I didn't design that. Remember that was Joe Flo's.
Oh, you're right. That was Han. You're right.
Han, yeah.
But it was still you.
Well, you know. Yeah, you know it. I'm Prince of the Teacup girl.
Right. That was so cute. Like so many. So we had performances. Like it was cracking.
Cool. So I remember when we met, obviously, and I was just in town for that gig. And then I came back, like you said, and we worked together, which was like a key. And then you started doing other organizations. You started another organization. So talk a little bit about that. And remember when you got a cease and desist letter?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Can you talk about that?
So, yeah, of course. It's not, we didn't get sued. Thank God.
It just like,
but I mean, we switched for that. We switched it up real fast on them hoes. So, 4 years ago, I co-founded a festival called Okhella. And the original idea behind Okhella started in a community garden with my business partner, Seneca, who already had a very thriving, popping cafe that was there where he sold coffee and breakfast sandwiches and all these things. And he was doing these very small, intimate, like parties. He did a Halloween party, a holiday party. And he kind of had this idea of like, well, if I can just get like 200 people to show up, that'd be awesome. It could be like bigger. People really like this vibe of eating and drinking and communing in this garden and partying. So he looked for a bunch of people who were event producers and they were awful as shit. And eventually we crossed paths because he was roommates with a friend of who was my old coworker at the time. And we sat down and had a meeting and it was just like, and from there, like we created what was originally called Okhella because it was, I believe, the second weekend of, oh, actually, I'm gonna show you something. This is cute. Watch this. No, bitch had to keep it. So I have the original graphic.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
On my fridge still. Yeah. So this is the graphic. It was themed around Okhella because Coachella was like the second weekend of, it was April 24th, and we were like, man, fuck Coachella. We're doing something anti. So let's make it like an Oakland version. As you can see, like the font, the theme, like it was very branded.
Yeah.
And we posted it and people fucking responded. It reached like 500,000 people, including Coachella's lawyers, who sent us a cease and desist through Facebook because the Facebook page was called Okhella. And it was kind of on some hater shit. Like they sent us the cease and desist, but didn't allow us to just like edit everything. They just like shut it down. So all of that like promotion we had gotten,
wow.
We had to start all over again. But out of that kind of dilemma came the conversation of like, well, let's just take the C out of it and make it Okhella. And that's literally how the name was birthed. And essentially Okhella it's now a full-on music festival that takes over the intersection of 8th and Peralta in West Oakland every year, typically in April, and hosts vendors, like performances, bars, like art, like it's just the epitome of everything that makes Oakland amazing. And it's run by myself, who's an Oakland native, and a bunch of folks who are longtime residents. It's a collective of 4 of us now. And yeah, we just put our talents together with me doing I almost said evictions. I don't do evictions. With me doing event logistics.
The inner capitalist came out.
I was like,
I gotta get.
What the fuck was that about? I don't know. That was
great.
And yeah, we've been doing this for 4 years. It started very small in the garden with probably about 500 or 600 people, and now it's thousands of people who come every year, babies, grandmas, aunties and uncles. Like it's really a beautiful thing. And again, it's in West Oakland, which is a historically Black neighborhood, has a deep roots and histories with the Black Panther Party. It's a very historical block. So for us, it was like reclaiming a space. And I know people use that a lot, but literally reclaiming a space that's being heavily gentrified right now, and just bringing the joy and Blackness of Oakland back to that space. And that's the intention of it. Obviously, everyone is welcome, and we do get people who come who aren't people of color, but the intention behind it and the way we move through the world, definitely the coolest fucking white people you have ever met will be at that festival. Like, it's not, you know, your tech bros for sure. And yeah, we started as that, and then it's become a logistics and marketing company. We've done events with Black Joy Parade. We've done contract work with the East Bay Regional Park District, with the Oakland Museum of California. Like, people now ask us to market and produce their events. So yeah, we like got our hands in all these different places. And I started DJing literally the same year at TQP. So I'm also one of the resident DJs. And that really helped my DJ career, like, kind of solidify itself. I'll say, not take off, but solidify like a regular place for people to hear me.
That's great. It's a great segue as well.
Oh, come on. It's almost like I know what we was going to talk about or something.
Oh, honey, you know, they got that flow. So the interviews we're doing, this is the last one, it's really special. I was like, okay, quarantine, you got an album coming out, what are you going to do? All the things you're supposed to do and not able to do. So I thought, let's talk to all the producers. And then during this quarantine, me and you talked, and I was like, it would be really great to get a short mix of JUNEBUG and then a remix album, Scarab, with some of the cuts. So sent you the songs, maybe 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think we did about 2 weeks. Maybe 3.
Maybe 3, yeah.
I think the whole process maybe took 3 weeks from like
Tell me how you feel about it. Then I'm gonna talk about how I feel, and then we'll...
About the mix?
Yeah, about the mix.
I think it's super popping, first of all. I had an amazing palette to work with, a nice charcuterie of and amazingness. And yeah, it was the first time for me that I worked with an artist to create a mix of their music. But the process was super simple and super like fun and easy to work with you. Like, you had some ideas around how you wanted things to go, but you were very like flexible in how it came out. You trusted my artistic interpretation of how I would do things or how I would put them together and blend them. And yeah, I was super happy that you enjoyed it. I was turning up when I was recording it.
Yeah.
I had a good time. Like, I was like, wait, why am I not a house music DJ? Because this shit is inspiring me to like this makes me happy to play this music. And I'm by myself in my kitchen, you know?
It was really, I want to honor you.
What about you?
For me, it was like, you know, I love my music, right? Like, I get into it. I am also very aware that it's not everybody's cup of tea. Does that make sense? So, people who are just strictly in the genres and all of that good stuff. So, but for what we wanted to do, I was really excited because it's just interesting to think, you know, like, our whole relationship has been supporting each other in our arts and, you know, our creativity. And then I think this situation, I was like, ooh, this would be really fun to work together again, but like this, you know what I mean? Like, you're still DJing, I'm still making music. This album needs, you know, this blend between these two worlds, which really felt like this one world that we just, you know, with the new album, we just kind of, I feel like it just gets like bigger and more defined. And then listen to how you mix the songs together, it made me feel really proud of both products. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is the jam. These are jams. You know what I'm saying? Like, this
you
is
should be proud.
I am. I really am. And having these conversations helped me to be more proud, right? Like, 'cause it's like there's a relationship that's happened with everybody I worked with. We might have known each other before. Some of us we didn't, but now we have this work that we've done together. So it's good to include this part of it too, right? Because this is part of the work too. The mix from JUNEBUG and the Scarab, and then the Scarab album comes out on June 9th. Come
on, shameless plug.
Hey, you know how we do. This is the Scarab edition. It's a talking Shhhh, watch your mouth with Khalil Anthony. Before we go, I just wanted to check in. What's going on with you? What new projects, what's happening in your world right now?
So it's funny you ask that because I had literally, you know, Virgo, I had like 7 ideas and hustles that I was literally about to launch before Corona's bitch ass came around to the party. So that has, I won't say forced, but it has put me in a space of having to pivot and think about how those ideas and businesses can continue to exist, even though the world around me is very different. And what I do is heavily based in events and the general gathering and communing of folks. But in terms of the pivot that has been immediate with Okella, we've been continuing to put out content. We did a lip sync battle, which was the first time we ever did like a contest, which was super dope. And we've been producing a monthly. So in the real world, we were doing a party called Sweat House, which was literally a party for people who dance and don't be on their phone. It was open format, guest DJs every month. At a venue here in Oakland called Starline, which is like one of the premier venues for concerts and really big parties. But because that couldn't happen, we were thinking about just wanting to set ourselves apart in the haze of DJs and mixes and live streams and like thinking about production value and production quality. So we put our heads together, especially the 3 DJs of the crew, and came up with this concept for a party that we are, or event, live stream, whatever, called JUNEBUG. And that's really been fun because each one has been themed. The first one was, you know, with the funk going on. So it was all funk and soul dance music. We partnered with NEX Means and Mindseed and Youth Aid to do it on their soundstage in East Oakland, which again, just added like a different level of production value and quality. We didn't want to just have like a phone and like be on Instagram Live, you know?
Right.
So we've been doing that. We just did our second one, which was what is the acronym? GYAITH, which is Get Your Ass in the House.
Oh.
And it was all dance and house music.
Okay.
And that was super fun. Again, like we've been exploring these different ways to bring intention to creating a space and really trying to get folks to just move and remember that regardless of your circumstance, if we're in the house or not, like we can still be together and create together in very meaningful ways. So that's been the main focus of what I've been doing. That's out in the world, but in the background, I've been working on some projects, especially on the DJ end, and some things that I'm gonna be putting out very soon. Lots of mixes. I did a couple of mixes. If you check out my Instagram, it's at Bijou_DJ Kream. My link tree has links to all my stuff. But yeah, it's just been like, I've always wanted to produce and now I got hella time. So I've been learning stuff. Bay taught me how to play piano. He has a MIDI keyboard and, you know, I have access to this soundstage now. So it's just been like overdrive and just focusing on all the things that I wanted to do but didn't have time for. So yeah, I can't say too much because it's all still very much coming together. But for sure, I'm going to be putting out some things for the people.
Yay! I'm really happy that we decided to have this conversation.
We're gonna talk some shit. We're gonna talk more shit. We got some shit to talk about DJs on live streams.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be quick. I think it's interesting. I guess the first thing that came to my mind when you said that is like, there's always somebody who wants to be on the mic, right? So that to me is like, because I know for me, I've been tired of listening to people talk on pianos for years. Like I just,
right.
Like,
right. I don't hear no more fucking poems.
I just don't, you know, that's me. So, but then I always find it to be, so then obviously this started happening and then, you know, I wasn't even online at that time. I was off social media as far as I was concerned. And then it was like, boom, this is crazy. We need to be talking to each other, right? But I haven't felt the desire to do anything live because nothing feels that urgent for me, if that makes sense, you know? So without critiquing somebody else's need to do it or whatever, for me, I guess there you go. I was in the process of putting out an album and all these things, and it's like, oh shit, we got to figure out how this is going to happen now in this space outside of the PR company that was going to work because they don't exist anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, you know, those things. So I think trying to, like you said, pivot and then re-evaluate what it is that I'm doing. right? This project has been in the process for like a year and some change. So for me, it was like, we hold it or put it out. It's like, you got to put it out now, right? So then I can be in the space of thinking about what it look like to put out new things. Like, what is that new process? I have things I'm working on now. So now it's like, oh, shoot, what does that look like for me? I'm going to be in the space after this is over to think about that. I'm not, I'm not there. How about you?
Same. When I was talking earlier about JUNEBUG and why we kind of waited so long was because I'm kind of tired of DJs live streaming. Like, we 3 months in now, so it's not new. It's like, the first couple weeks or even months, it was super exciting to see some of my favorite DJs space. That's what was more interesting to me, is like, now I get a glimpse into the creative spaces that some of my favorite DJs have in their homes or their studios or wherever they're creating. Like, to me, I'm more like looking in the background and like, what does it look like? What is your space setup like? What type of equipment do you have at home? Like, that's been more interesting to me. But I'm a little tired of it. And I'll be honest, I need some of y'all to fucking go on YouTube University and get your shit together, because the information is there for you. Nobody on my team is a tech genius. We literally have looked shit up and tested it again and tested it again. Like, I want people to think about the production quality of what they're doing versus being in a rat race to just do things. Because as you can see from these little, have you seen the versus battles that have been happening?
Yeah.
I'm like, how these rich people don't have fucking good Wi-Fi? I don't understand. But they have teams. I'm like, you have a team of people who make sure you look good every day and you got on clothes. So, like, I'm just wondering what the thought process is of being so rinky-dink when it comes to a live stream, but you wouldn't do that in the real world. Like, your live show would not be that way. Right. There's checks and balances, So I just want to talk a little shit about that. Like, the information is there for you, and that's the beauty of it all, is that the playing field has been leveled now, where it's like, we're all in our spaces and in our homes. We don't have access to $1 million lighting rigs and, dancers and all of this stuff, pop design. Say, like, you got your fucking room and a camera.
Yeah.
And from there, you have to figure the rest out. So, I'm definitely hoping somebody hears this and goes and buy a fucking iRig or something, because it's been bad. It's been real bad. And not everybody. Some people have been good, but it's just been like, yeah, y'all, we need to. We're evolving, and different things are happening. Different approaches are being presented. Like, that's what needs to happen, and I'm glad. I just hope that everyone is paying attention to the things that are happening and is inspired. Like, did you see the Erykah Badu Apocalypse performances?
No, what is that?
So she does this series called Apocalypse. She's done 3 now so far. I missed the first one and the third one, but I saw the second one. And essentially, she's taking her home and creating different rooms that are hella dope, hella beautiful. And she has like a production squad and a crew of people, which I want to say she named that these are the people who usually tour with her, and because she's not touring, this is her way of trying to like make sure they can eat and feed their families. Yeah, because she's like, I make my money touring. Like, fuck it, album, you can stream all you want, that's great, stream it, but I make money from merch and from ticket sales. So I'm an ecosystem that supports a lot of people and a lot of families. And essentially, she was this one I saw. She had different rooms, and you could say, like, you could vote which room you wanted her to go to next. And each room had a different vibe, a different outfit, a different band, and she was playing songs. She performed, and it cost $2, I think, to attend it through her streaming platform. She created her own platform, like, and I'm like, this is the kind of innovation that is inspiring folks, especially me, to be like, I don't want a DJ in my office with a cell phone and a clip and a fucking light. Like, it's inspired me to step it up. So I'm just like, y'all need to take some motherfucking notes, okay? And think about that versus just like, I have to do something to keep up. Like, it's okay to not
take a beat
on the hamster wheel. Yeah, it's okay to take a beat and to think and stop and like really curate what it is that you want to do and put it out versus just doing things to do them, you know?
That's a good point. Yay. Okay, well, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
DJ Kream, do you have any last words?
Yeah, I had to say anything right now, I would just reiterate what I said earlier, which is that, you know, we all should be tuning out of what's coming through these devices and through this TV and tuning into what we see in real life. Like, what is your real experience? What are you seeing? What are you feeling? Versus what you're being told to see and experience and do. Like, there's a real shift happening right now, and it's a consciousness shift. It's a spiritual war that's going on. And if anything, I want to name that and just encourage folks to think for themselves. Like, I'm not going to sit here and spout, you know, all my theories, my conspiracy theories, because I got a lot of them.
Right.
But if anything, I'm not trying to force anyone to believe what I believe, but I want to encourage folks to question everything.
Right. And
to think for themselves, to truly think about the things we're being told to do and how we're being told to live, and to go against what doesn't feel right. Like, we know as human beings when some shit don't sit right. So those are my parting words.
I appreciate that. Yay. Thanks for watching Talking Shh. Watch your mouth with Khalil Anthony. Talking shit with Khalil.
Oh, you said it this time?
I always say that at the end.
I always say it at the end.
That's good. That's going to be the end of